Hi ladies, hi gents, I hope you're all well. Okay, so you've seen the video of my fabric paper book that I've done, and what I thought I would do is try and do a tutorial, but not for a whole book. So maybe like a fabric page, and maybe one of the paper bag pages, and maybe a couple of tags. So that way, you know, it's not a super 20-part series. So hopefully, you know, because I don't get much time to do tutorials because my craft area is in my living room, so I can only do a tutorial when there's nobody in the house apart from Alfie, of course. You know, so it's really difficult for me to do tutorials, so that's my plan, but we'll see how it goes. Okay, so I'm going to show you the fabrics I chose for this. So for the base I use this linen fabric like this, and I just cut them into rectangles. They are not cut exactly to size or anything. I just cut some out, and that's the size I work with, but I will roughly tell you what this is. So it's roughly 9.5 inches, or in centimetres, 24 centimetres, and it's 7.5 inches wide, which is roughly 19 centimetres. But I don't, you know, for this kind of thing I don't measure, I just cut. So that would be, so I've got 4 there, but I'm only going to work on 1, so let me move the others out of the way as I go along. Actually, I haven't got my little iron plugged in. Let me choose one that's a little bit, that one's fine. Okay, so that's the page. So these are the fabrics that I've chosen, and I absolutely love them. So I've gone with a blue theme to match the paper line that I've chosen. So I've got a beautiful stripe linen. This is a very fine material, but it's got these beautiful blue-grey roses on. I prefer to work with linens on this, but this is so beautiful that I had to have that. This is a polka dot linen with a very dusky blue colour. And then I've got some denim, which isn't heavy, it is a linen weight, if you know what I mean. So it's not too heavy, it's not too thick. So they're the fabrics that I've chosen, and I just cut a section of each off the piece that I had. And the paper line is this one from Prima, and it's the Georgia Blues. Now I've only got it in a 6x6, so, but I'm pretty sure that will work perfectly fine. These are beautiful papers, absolutely love them. Love this one, but I also love that, and I'm annoyed that they're on the same page. I mean, they're all beautiful, but they're just gorgeous. Actually, let me show you quickly. So there's this one, and this one, just in case anybody hasn't seen them. Okay, that's the back of it. It's beautiful. That's the back of it. I love that too. This one, absolutely gorgeous. I'm not gonna do close-ups or anything. I'm sure you have seen this because I'm normally behind in any papers I buy. I just buy them when I see them occasionally. I don't buy a lot. Gorgeous, and that's the back of that. And then the last one is this one, and the damask is the back of that. So that's the papers. I did buy the journaling cards. These are the note cards. So these are 3 by 4 inches, and these ones are 4 by 6. And these will be all my tags inside. So perfect. Okay. I also grabbed some of my wide burlap and cheesecloth. I have a bundle of trims to hand, and also some doilies and tea-dyed trims to hand in case I need them. I don't know where it's going to go. I haven't planned this. I don't know how it's going to take shape. Anything. Oh, I've also got the corrugated card, and obviously I'll use the grey and the dark grey on this for these, but we'll see how that goes as well. I'm hoping I've got enough to get me through this book. I'm sure I do. So I'll put that to the side as well. I won't need the cards for a while, so I'll put them over there. So the first thing I do is I do fray this up a bit. Now you don't have to do this, I just like the shabbiness of pulling a few of these threads out just to make it a bit shabby. But that's just my preference. You don't have to do this. You can keep it smooth lined. This one's not. There we go. And I don't try and have neat straight edges at all. I just go with it. And I keep the strings to tuck behind flowers or embellishments. So you fray as much as you like, and I need to check this is staying. Fray as much as you want to or don't want to. It is personal choice. This is just my personal choice. Okay, so I keep these, like I say, to put behind flowers and such. Okay, so I'm happy with that. Just going to take a couple more off this side. There we go. Now you can of course stitch all this. You know, I can't have a sewing machine set up where I am at the moment, so it is harder for me to sew right now, but hopefully soon, once Monique has moved into the new flat. We're still waiting on the keys, but that's a whole nother story. Once she's moved into the new flat, and hopefully I can use her bedroom for the sewing machine. Anyway, which side do I want to work on? This one first. Okay, let me just tidy that up. Okay, so that's my page. So then I decide what I want the front cover to look like, what fabrics, and well, you'll see, I just kind of go with it. So I think I would like problem with this is because it's not linen, anything that's underneath it will very slightly show through. It's not a major problem, but I just have to be a bit more careful how I place that one, where I place it and what I have showing through. I think I might go with the polka dot on this one. Okay, so again, some of you will be horrified, but I just don't measure anything. I just go for it and then knitting it up as I go. So I'm really sorry if you work by measurements only, because I really don't. I just go for things. Right. And okay, keep all your little offcuts, because these come in handy when you do the tags. So I'll just take that little bit extra off there. Perfect. Right. Now, I've never used this fabric before, but I'm hoping it frays, and it does. So I like to get a little bit. Some fabric doesn't fray very well, so it is a case of, you know, trying a bit and seeing. I'll just take little bits off, not too much, but again, I keep those as it is. There we go. Now I'm not using hot glue on this, and I'm not using Fabri-Tac. I'm going to use tacky glue, Alien's tacky glue, because it's great for fabric and paper. So that's what I used on my other book, and it worked perfectly, and it gave me a tiny bit of movement time as well, so you know, if I was unhappy with something. So I just want to ruffle this end up a bit more. There we go. Yep. And this is great because you can use up fabrics and you can use up paper lines at the same time. Okay. So that's how it will be on top of that. Now I do want to add a little bit of something underneath that. I've got a doily that I used on the other one, and I'd quite like to have a bit of that on here again. So I think I'll take a bit of that, and for this did have holes in it, so you know, that's why I'm using it. It wasn't a perfection doily or anything, and it is the colour I want. So So let me chop into that. I think so. I think I put it round the corner on the other one. I think on this one, there's a thread there. Let me just cut that off. Yep. I might want to put it in just a little bit. So I'm thinking that there. Okay. I think I want a bit of lace down the bottom, and I'm going with both vintage, and there'll be a bit of modern lace in there. That one. I love this, so there's going to be some of that definitely. And that one, I think. Okay, so what I then do is take my lace, I just measure how much I need. Might take that round a bit, so I will do that. Okay, so what I'll do is lift that off a bit. So this is the glue that I'm using. Okay, just tacky glue. Okay, and I just run it along where I'm putting the lace, and like I say, this glue just gives me that time to adjust things, and you know, so that's that on there. And this really is a great way to use up your don't like that end on there, so I'm going to cut that off. Odds and snippets and bits and pieces, so I want that to be a little bit higher, but still check it shows. Yes. Okay, so then I just run another, I mean, I'm just dabbing the glue along. Just make sure I've got the right side. Just going to put this one round. Okay. And then I'm going to just put some glue along here. Hold this in place. Sorry, I'm just getting a baby wipe because I use my fingers a lot. Okay, I need that in a bit. Okay, so I'm happy with that, how that looks. I'm just deciding whether to just put a little bit of cheesecloth behind the top. I might do that on this one. Okay, I just again randomly cut into this cheesecloth. Excuse me. And I stretch it out, fray it, and then let me see. Turn it around so this would be the top corner. So I am thinking something like that, yeah. Okay. Okay, so I'm happy with that. It's upside down now, so that's how that looks. So I'm going to now glue this piece down. And again, I just run a dab over the edges. It definitely gives you a bit of time to move this around on the fabric. Again, remember, you can sew this, you can lay it all down, pin it, and then stitch it, so it does not have to be glued, but it is your preference. Okay, so that's how the page is looking so far. I don't want to go too close in case I keep going off shot or out of focus. So now I'd like to have a bit of cheesecloth on there. And I would also like a bit of this burlap. Do you know, I knew that was going to happen. Okay, I'll have to do a part 2, so bear with me. Sorry about this.